Loud, Justin Fox, Satish Bala. Satish, thanks. We're here again. You ready to go?
Yo, man, this is my favorite Friday time slot. Let's hang out,
Let's
chit
do it.
chat,
Let's do it.
catch up. Two founders just shooting shit, but there's always gems.
All right, here we go. Are we there yet? Can you hear me?
I am here.
All right. We are live in effect. Satish Bala, Justin Fox, Thinking Out Loud Fridays. Where are we gonna go with this one today? Where are we going with this one? You lead the way.
Let's first talk about the metaverse or the multidimensional world. Because I just finished watching the new Spider-Man, and man, they mess with your brain when they start talking about there's a Justin and Satish right now in a different universe doing something different, you know? So as you think about like metaverses and the concept and you know, if you look back in the last 10 years, television and movie storytelling has shown us possibility of technologies has become true now. I still remember, I think it was not Back to School, Minority Report. The first time I saw somebody take a phone and open it up and do shit, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a flat phone in the future. Some guy made it up in a script, and then 10 years later, we have flat phones. And so when you're looking at like the metaverse and all the stuff that's happening in there and the multiverse and shit, is there any cool tech, bro, that you're like, yo, we want to see it in our lifetime?
So, okay, multiverse. This is going to be a kind of off. So you ever watched Flash?
Yes.
There's like the show version. The show,
yeah.
Like the kid Barry Wood or whatever his name is, Harry Wood, Barry Wood. Anyway, so the kids and I, I know it's a little bit older now. I think there might be new episodes, but we got into it maybe 3-4 years ago, just before COVID. We kind of like would binge watch episodes, and they're all about the. I think it's like the multiverse, right? So like, there's a Flash, or there's like variations on all these different worlds, right? And then there's sort of the singularity. So all that stuff that like they, the ability to time travel. I think for me, that's probably, or the ability to like shift interdimensional or like interverse. Is that even, or like crazy, blow my mind. Like this whole, like you said, I could have somebody like me, but a different version of me, maybe that speaks French, or like in the Flash, there's like one dude is like, I can't even think of it. It's been a while, but like one dude's like, I want to just say Grey Poupon version, and the other one's like, asshole version. The other one's like all like genius version. The other one's like stupid as fuck version. Pardon my language, but it's just funny like having that concept. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you see on TV and stuff. I mean, if they can think it and believe it or make it up, I mean, an ounce of it I believe is true. So there's a lot of stuff out there, but
there's a company that I was going to tell you. They're called Proto Hologram. Okay, I came across you guys in on Instagram, and they've taken the holographic model of people communicating and turned it live, bro. You can buy this booth that you can put on a desktop table or like a full life size at a concert or an experience, and you can live beam somebody as a holographic full 360 video into this little box.
Yeah.
And now
I'm looking at the website right now. Here, let's I'm gonna see if I can.
It's one of the coolest technologies I've seen, and I want it. I was like, yo, what if in Schoolio, every parent has a little desktop, and when the kid is stuck, they press a button, and a hologram tutor shows up live, and they've got a whiteboard, and they can interact because they've got a camera, so they can see you and you can see them, but they're in 3-dimensional in a little room in your living room, bro. Or all the artists for Desi Fest that I cannot book because you're too damn expensive with your expensive business. You go to a studio We broadcast you right onto a live environment. It is bananas. Probably one of my most favorite texts that I'm watching right now.
What's just happened? Yeah, that's crazy. I saw something like that. I wasn't sure the name, but isn't one of the do they have a token? I think there's like something similar. Maybe this is it. Proto hologram.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
it.
it's crazy.
This is
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. And now what they've done is instead of just selling a piece of hardware,
Yeah.
they've now taken the Netflix approach and just start making a ton of content. So if you don't know what to do with it immediately, but you bought the small desktop version, you now have a lot. So imagine doing a master class and it's Dr. Dre coming in to teach you, or in this case, we just saw a DJ coming in. They're three-dimensional in your home, showing you product demos, how to DJ, tips and man, cooking classes. Can you imagine cooking classes live? This is a game changer.
Yeah, so it's almost it's like metaverse meets real world. It's the opposite almost of VR, right? It's like
Yeah,
you're in the real world, but you're getting the fake world. It's like another version of VR and AR, right? It's instead of augmented in front of your face, it's now augmented in another device.
100%. And if they make it interactive, where there's a little camera thing on the top, and it sees me, and you're in your studio, and whatever I'm saying, you can react to it live. Oh my gosh, it's a game changer. And you know what's gonna happen, Justin? It's all gonna end up in the porn industry. That's the ultimate destination.
It's funny, yeah.
That industry's gonna eat this up. That's what's gonna happen. Like any cool tech, you know. So anyhow, I was really pumped about this tech, and I've been thinking a lot about, as I got older. I'm 47, man. As I got older, I'm like, man, how much time do I have to experience that world of flying cars and time traveling and cool holograph stuff? And like, I want a piece of that world before my time is up. I'm owed that shit. I've been thinking about that since I was 18.
Yeah, I yeah, the tech that we thought was gonna be here when we were older, or like the Back to the Future, like hoverboards, floating hoverboards. I watched the guy. You know what's crazy? So this is a comment that I've said to my kids actually about technology. Everyone predicted flying cars, right? Sort of way back when, but arguably that's what a plane is, right? It's a flying bus, right? So I mean, it's just variations, right? So people's imagination of what it's gonna be, and then sort of how it actually plays out. Although it's when you're in it, it's hard to visualize it. But a lot of the technology that we, like you said, we've got, literally, what used to be probably the size of like a fucking room of technology, computing technology on a phone. Like I have a terabyte of memory on this. Like it's unreal.
And I've been an iPhone guy all my life.
No, Samsung. All Samsung. Oh, look at the flip phone.
And I was like,
is that the new Samsung?
That's the Z. And I was like, I need the foldable phone because this is the perfect in between my computer or my iPad and my phone. And it is my favorite phone I've ever had in my entire life. But it took them 10 years to figure out how to make this seamless experience. Ben, I can drop it. It's waterproof. It is brilliant, bro. And it's just starting. It's going to get thinner. It's going to get smoother. So I just want
more.
Who
makes it? Who makes that one?
That's the Samsung Z Fold.
It is Samsung, right? Okay, yeah. My wife was talking about that the other day.
I'm new to the Android, bro. But as soon as this version came out, I didn't have any qualms in like switching to Android. Prior to this version, I would never switch to Android because my Apple phone solved all of the things that I wanted and the cool factor. But once this came out, I was like no longer loyal to Apple. I'm like, yo, I could switch now, And so when I look at all of the cool tech that's coming down the pipeline, I just want to be here long enough to experience it. And a lot of this stuff, I mean, just to sort of tie in back to what I'm doing with Schoolio, as you guys already know, if you're watching any of our episodes, we are building the coolest platform
for education,
to bring
learning. I think education is the bad word. Learning.
Learning.
Learning, right? Like education is more like indoctrination or like passing on something. This is more like you want the I don't want to call them the user, but like the participants, the students to be learning and
Learning is
engaging. And
voluntary, right? Like most
yeah,
of the time, the things that we really care about, we choose to learn it, and we choose to learn something when we're excited. We want to play, we want to explore, and then 9 out of 10 times we're accountable to get to the end because we want to get to the end. Nobody's forcing us. So our model of core and electives allow the child or the student to learn the core stuff. You got to learn it whether you like it or not. It gives you some visibility into the bigger world, but the electives allows you to play. There's no need to finish them. There's no testing, there's no quizzes. This is just inspirational electives, and you can do as much or as little as you want, but we learn what gets you excited as parents or educators. So when I look at all the different tools that we want to do, like, man, I'm in such a geek out, like, exploratory play world for the first time in my own startup.
I like how too you were telling me the other day on the phone about the guy with the economic model with sort of the gamification around. I don't know, talk about that. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool. Like if you can figure out how to create sort of that DAO type gamification, tokenization, and rewards program for students or people learning,
yeah. So
I think
I was
that'd
just
be
looking him
pretty
up
insane.
quickly. Brian Bean, he's the inventor of real world classroom teaching model, and I met him at South by Southwest.
How do you
And
spell BEAN?
yeah, Brian Bean, look him up, guys. Basically, what he's done, he said, look, financial literacy is cool, but how do we bring it to life in school so that kids are experiencing what's outside in class in a safe way? So he created a model where students have to earn revenue by participating in different programs in class, and they use that money to simulate real world experience. For example, imagine day one, you're not assigned a chair or a table until you earn enough points to be able to afford tables. And what if the tables in school are divided from like VIP, which is back of the class, to like regular chairs? And then you can earn your way to a VIP. And what if somebody has a VIP, but they can rent it to you for the semester and make more money? So he's created this really cool model around bringing what happens outside of schools for these kids and into in class. And what he said that was like shook my like core as a parent and an educator is he said they do this whole thing around like stock market and taking risks and stuff with your money. Some kids learn that they don't like to take risks even with
Right.
fake money. Some kids realize they have an unknown gambling problem that they didn't even know they had, and they got to learn that about themselves in this environment, not in the real world, losing their shirts. And I found that so impactful because when I look at my kids, my daughter has no idea what's the cost to have a cell phone or how much I
Right.
pay monthly for it or what happens if it's lost or damaged because there's no accountability, right? So when we were looking at Schoolio, we said, hey, how can we bring a real world model into our ecosystem and not just your play or study, get a token, get an avatar, get some shoes. So a simple, like, I'll let the cat out of the bag a little. A simple idea for us is like, we're going to have some sort of a chat talking module. So what if in order for you to chat with your friends, you need to buy a cell phone in Schoolio world? And
Or
and
have
you can
that
only
like communication abilities or whatever, right? Yeah.
in order to get a cell phone, you got to put in enough time to earn some tokens. And then when you're deciding what technology you want, depending on how much money you have, you can get the iPhone version, which is fully decked out with tools and emojis and all the stuff you can do, or you can get a basic phone that just allows you to chat, right? But now you have to make a choice on what I want, like we do, Samsung, Android, knockoffs, right? And then once you get the phone, you can chat, but you got to now pay a monthly fee to keep that phone active digitally. So now you're starting to learn about real world money values within an ecosystem that we have. So when you come out graduating, whether from Schoolio or post-secondary, you got a sense of how money operates in the world because you've experienced a bit of that tension in your own
Right.
little world. That's the world we're trying to create, man. And I'm pumped. And so much of this stuff hasn't been built, and so I think you gave me a shout out.
Anxious? No, you don't. No need to be anxious. You should be happy.
I'm anxious because we have tons of ceilings to break through.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And the faster we get to the ceilings, the faster we can break through. But more importantly, recruiting the right believers into our world means there's ceilings that I'm not going to be able to break, but I want to have a Brian or you or whoever on standby to go, hey man, I hit this ceiling, blockchain, NFT, education, whatever. Help me crack this stuff so I can keep going, right? And that for me is like the number one job as a CEO right now. How do I surround our company with incredibly smart, passionate, accomplished people that can help us break as many ceilings as possible as this rocket is like going up?
Going to the moon, right?
Yeah, to the moon, baby. You were in Google now. Google's let us into their.
Congrats on that. I saw the post. Everyone was kind of posting. So you guys are in the, what is it, like the accelerator, the Google?
Yeah,
so you're like one of 11 companies or something. 11.
It was awesome to get in. And Google's a great partner because they know how to organize information. They know humans better than ourselves, and they bring that credibility to us that they're going to help us organize.
It depends on who's watching. That may or may not be a good or bad. We don't. The fact that the AI knows us better than ourselves. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's one thing. That's one thing that I sometimes contemplate and question is, where are we going with AI for our kids' lives? Like, it's got to come to a point where it's too much. I don't know, and I'm not smart enough to think through that. But yeah, it's definitely
like any technology is just a tool, and there's always going to be people that use it in a positive way for good results, and people that use it for not so good.
There's the thought that if the AI can start creating AI, then we're fucked. It's sort of like, then the AI that created the AI that was created by the AI that's now it's just like
I hope by the time we get there, those people have seen Terminator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, exactly. They are Terminators. Like, this is where I want to be. I'm like, I want nanobots. Talk about technology. Actually, this is what I want to see. I want to see nanobots that can be injected into me that literally allow me to like regenerate all aspects of me. And just live.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, is that what movie is that from?
Blood something, man. It was one of those like just background filler type of movies, and that was the storyline. They inject him with a bunch of nanos, and he can't die because whatever happens, nanos fixes everything. And I was like, man,
fix it up exactly. That's
a curse. I think
that's it. Like living forever, that's a bit of a conundrum, or dilemma, right?
Me, like the beauty of living is knowing it's gonna end one day. But if you live forever, I don't know if it's the same beauty.
Well, there's the other movie is I'm terrible with names. I think my brain by the end of the week is a little bit fried, but where they're kind of like, on one side you've got the people that live forever and want to continue to live forever, and then on the other side you got the people that live forever that don't want to live forever, and they're sort of like, it's like this reincarnation thing, and they keep reincarnating, but the one guy's trying to like wipe all their brains and like put them into these chips. It's I don't know, crazy, one of the crazy movies. Anyways, let's move on. Technology is moving at a ever increasing pace, and we got to keep up. So obviously,
if everybody's watching and you want to leave us movie recommendations, leave a comment.
Yeah. And exactly, what are we supposed to watch this weekend? The kids and I were watching a movie that's kind of neat the other day, but have you seen the one Don't Talk About Bruno? I'm not sure what the name of the movie is, but kids movie. I know you have kids. It's Encanto or something like that. Encanto. Yeah, they watched it rerun, over and over and over again. Yeah,
my daughter is a drama student who can memorize any song the first time she hears it. So every single night since that movie, we heard that Bruno track on repeat.
We don't talk about Bruno, no. Exactly. What?
Thank you so much. Now you've messed up my Friday night. I just got out of my.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, let's talk. You were saying earlier, okay, you're gonna do a speech. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so listen, I got a keynote tomorrow on the topic of entrepreneurship and the importance of entrepreneurship. And I wanted to pick your brain. What do you feel about entrepreneurship? Do you have mentors that sort of guide you, and really about mentorship within entrepreneurship? And what are your thoughts? Is it good? Is it bad? What pros and cons? Tell me about mentorship in your
On
life.
mentorship.
Yeah,
This is actually
in your
better.
career.
Yeah. So interesting. Let me switch that. That's actually a better view. We should have been on that view the whole time. I'm doing the background production while we're like mid conversation there, testing stuff out. We're gonna. Hey, by the way, I said to you, but I'll say it to everyone else. So maybe I throw it out there live that put some impetus behind me. But I'm gonna have an intro video for this for next Friday. So we'll have a bit of a thinking out loud intro video. But to that point, what about mentors?
Accountability. You just threw out some accountability.
Accountability, exactly. I'm gonna hold myself to myself. But mentors, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
What's a mentor? What's the difference between a mentor and a coach?
I don't have a coach. I've never used a coach. I've had many people. I mean, we're all on LinkedIn. I get probably a couple a week, maybe one a day sometimes, like, hey, I'm a coach, blah, 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 whatever, right? I've got a bunch of followers, or, I don't know about followers. I've got lots of connections. And so people reach out, and it's all well and good, and I see the value in it. So those of you that are doing it, I mean, that's all well and great. For me, I don't know. I'm more of a trial and error. I'm more of you can't learn from your mistakes. And you mentioned this off air. My quote that I've keep repeating is, you can't learn from your mistakes if you don't make any. So I feel, at least personally, I don't learn from others. That's probably bad. I do take, this is on the flip side though, I do take a lot in from people, right? So I'll sit with a lot of people, and I've worked with people, more, senior, bosses, whatever, people that, have, definitely imparted a lot of knowledge and kind of experiences on me. And, even with backers and, sort of some of the people that I work with there through backers, just learning from, their thoughts on how things work. When you're, I'll say that, a kid from the borough, and you're, you've never really been in around maybe, the big boardroom with, the billionaires club kind of thing. There's certain ways of, I think, doing things. And so things like that, I definitely learn from people. I truthfully though, I've always wanted to be the opposite of what a lot of people are. So I almost look at what they do, and I'm like, I'm going to do it this way, or try and do it a different way, and not just kind of do it the way everyone else is. So it's hard to find mentors that are, that would potentially fit in that. But we've got here, I guess I just got hacked. Freaking backers Facebook, they always go and scam and put like backers. They put backers. They create an account called backers, and then they literally start writing posts on our videos, and then all these people like it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like, I just deposited 0.3 BTC and got 0.9 BTC. It's like what you had. We never actually figured out or heard what happened with that. But I'll end it with the mentors. Not a huge fan. Definitely appreciate what other people have to say, but I've never really had anyone. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe people will be like, "Hey, that's why you're." Yeah.
Like, I've had a ton of mentors, but it's funny because like most of the mentorship I got, I'm oversharing, but people that follow me know I talk about this stuff openly. But most of my mentoring was to fill in the gap of like my dad not being a good mentor,
right?
Because it's the life lessons, and like to grow up to be a man, and like those are the things I didn't have a framework. Business, I got books, I got YouTube, I got people I can follow, but like growing up to be a man and like being a husband and feeling, that's the part like I had no idea. So a lot of the mentors that I seek out are in that category of like, I don't know these things. I can't call my pops. He's gone. We don't have any, I don't have any uncles and stuff. And so when your only framework of like a grown man is your pops and he doesn't count, then there's a large like void that I was trying to fill with mentorship. But then when people are like, yo, can you mentor me? I'm like, I don't know how to do it because my mentorship is all coming from like life lessons and, you know, how to be a better human and, you know, how to deal with you and you. But I've been trying to understand, you know, the model, because I get hit up for mentorship all the time. And I'm always like, look, it's not that I don't want to mentor you. Let's not put a label on it. You got a question? Ask me a question. If I can answer it, I can answer it. But I don't know how to be in a formal mentor-mentee relationship because I don't have a blueprint for it, you know?
It's interesting. So on the mentor, being the mentor side of things, I've had a few people approach me, so I'm obviously not at the same level as you are. No one's approaching me looking for mentorship, which maybe is a sign of the flip side. You've got to get somewhere before you can start to sort of give back a little. Maybe that's how it is. So you're on one side of the mountain. I'm kind of still climbing. You're at the top of the mountain. I'm still
I
climbing
think it
up.
depends on the ecosystem. Like, you know, like a lot of the folks that reach out to me is from my community, because we're notorious for not having mentorship, and we don't have a lot of public facing, outspoken, you know, folks like me that are like putting the cat, you know, getting the cat out of the bag, saying, hey, this is all the good shit about us, and this is all the not so good shit about us. Let's talk about it. And so I think I've consciously put a spotlight on me to go, hey, if you're like me, and you don't know what the hell's going on, and you got challenges, like I've got, you know, some things that can teach you or help you. But in you know, and the folks I'm speaking to tomorrow are Thummel Association, you know, sort of young entrepreneurs. And so I look at this model of like, you know, the mentorship for life, and then there's mentorship for like career, and like, you know, there's mentors for like aspiration. I want to be that guy in 10 years. What do I learn? So I've been structuring my keynote around these three things, but you know, 50% of my heart is like, I don't know how to best advise, but I can, you know, I can give you 100% of like what I've done.
It's interesting you mentioned about your dad and like sort of that dynamic. I mean, yeah, it's hard, I guess, if you're I'm sort of thinking through here, because now you got me thinking. I mean, have I had mentors? Maybe I have had mentors and I just didn't know it. Maybe I'm so caught up. Yeah, you just don't know. I think for me, and this actually, I'm gonna different part here. So last night, my wife said to me, she said, so I was talking with some people and they were referring to you, and they said they described you as intense. And I was like, and I was like, I don't know. Am I intense? What the fuck? And she's like, exactly. Right? And I was like, okay. So let me take a step back here. And so I feel like, for me at least, in this journey of like entrepreneurship and being sort of in the world we're in, I feel like I'm always, I don't know why, I feel like I'm always on my own. Like it's sort of been like an interesting, lonely journey. And I think what you're getting at there is, if you have somebody that's kind of that 3, 5, 10 steps ahead of you, you know, in maybe in a completely different field, but like sort of doing similar things, I think it's cool to have the ability to like reach out and just have a conversation, not necessarily where anyone's kind of asking or bugging about anything, but just to kind of talk, right? Like,
yeah,
I think that's cool. I have some people like that, you know, you can sort of, and I would consider them more friends than mentors, right? I think that's maybe where the difference between the two is that, you know, I have some friends, yeah, I'll bounce ideas or thoughts or kind of things off of, and just kind of like hear what their thoughts are, you know, as we move along.
And maybe it's the age thing, right? Like, you know, when a 23, 25-year-old reaches out, the boundaries are around, you know, I'm mentoring you, or there's a level of gap where we give each other mutual respect. But when I call you, I'm like, yo, Justin, I need some help. You know, I don't think of it as like I'm calling Justin for mentorship. I'm like, yo, I need some
yeah, just some thoughts.
Anyways, you're mentoring me, and if I have the opportunity, I'm mentoring you. But you know, yeah. So it's really interesting to think about it. So I got a presentation tomorrow. I got to work on it tonight, and hopefully share some wisdom to these young people.
How does it go? Give us a bit of a sneak peek? What is it? Do you have it there?
I'm gonna show the post video, man. I'm gonna come back next week and share with you the standing ovation that I got for the most.
Are you gonna live stream it? Actually, how's TikTok going?
it's good. I'm at like 260, 206. I added like another 60 people over the last 2 weeks.
Let's do it. Keep going. I've been fucking around with a whole bunch of different trying out things because I want to start using it for backers and for the 3HL and stuff like that. So I've been just testing out like different things.
So I met somebody a couple of days ago on Instagram. We're just shooting the crap, and he's like, man, you got to get to like, you know, at least 1,000 or 2,000 in TikTok. So all the other features will open up, monetization, live stream, etc. I'm like, man, I put in 60 and it takes forever. He's like, why don't you do what everybody else does? Just buy the first 1,000. The algorithm doesn't know the difference. They open it all up. Bro, apparently there's farms of people that would just sell you viewers so that you could beat the algorithm. So I can spend $100 next week and get to 2,000 subscribers. As far as TikTok is concerned, I've hit 2,000, which means all of the stuff opens up, and then I can now scale my group more because I've got all the other tools that it's only available when you get to a certain level. He's like, that's what everybody does. I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? He's like, exactly. Like when you look at somebody with millions of folks, you can see the percentage that are fake that help them trigger the algorithm. And I was like, very interesting. You know, there's guys that apparently pay for stuff like likes. And so as soon as they post something, the algorithm in the first 2 minutes brings like 50, 60 people to just hit like, which shows the algorithm that a whole bunch of people like this content. To show it's all these hacks, bro. He schooled me on this one. I was like,
that's great. Yeah,
there's if I should do this. I need some mentoring.
So, it's funny. I maybe it's an age thing. Maybe I'm not quite at the age to be a mentor. I don't know. This whole mentoring, you're throwing me a loop here with the mentoring. The word mentoring, it's almost like I don't know where to go with it. But so I'll give you an analogy. So Twitter, back when I first was starting out the 3HL on Twitter, there was these bots where you could literally, they would like and sort of comment and different and then unfollow people, and you sort of would build up your audience with certain keywords and stuff like that. So I would think it's probably something similar to that. I haven't tried to buy it, but I was just looking at a site here called SocialWick, whatever. And basically so like this Engage, but I'm just trying to see like the pricing. I don't know. I'm all for figuring out a leg up or how to like automate different things and increase your reach. The one thing I would question is how many of them are legit. Like that's always the risk, right? How many of them are legit actual users, or if it's just pure bots, that's not going to give you. Because the thing is, if you look at like engagement on a standard post, will that engagement come from those bots, or are you going to get the ROI when you start to actually do sort of things that you want people to pay for, people to be engaged with? You're not really going to get the same response. Are we getting bothered here?
No. It's Friday evening at the house. I think
let's go crack a beer. I should crack a beer too. I don't know. What time is it for you? It's like 7:30 for you, right?
Yeah, 7:30. But listen, when I look at the purpose of what these people do, they're not using the followers to justify their page growth. It's to just open up. Like, what if you and I can do this on TikTok, and the only reason I can't do it is it's going to take me forever to get to 1,000. So I get to 1,000 next week. Now I can create more content, more live videos, more engagement, more stories. And the next 9,000 is all organic followers. But I need the first 300. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I say do it, then we could do this. I say if you do it, we can do this next week live on TikTok. Live.
So the experiment, friends, is I'm gonna get to 1,000 TikTok followers, and then we're gonna invest in content over the next 3 to 4 months and see how the 1,000 plus TikTok unlocking will help me scale the account. Be a case study. I'll give you Friday updates on my TikTok account.
Your TikTok experience.
The growth of the account. But when I look at my club days, right? This is the same analogy we used to pull. Like the club will be empty and we'll keep the lineup as long as we can till like 11:30, and everybody thinks it's a hot club because it's a massive lineup. You go in, there's nobody in there, but that's okay because once the first batch of folks go in, club is full. There's still a lineup. So this has been done by every industry on creating these fake perceptions to screw the algorithm. People have figured it out in India and whoever. And so I'll pay $50 and get some fans and see what happens.
So on the club point, we were just talking, my wife and I. Do you remember showing up like minus 20 and you didn't want to do coat checks? You'd be wearing like a
100%.
golf shirt and fucking
100%.
standing in line.
100%.
How dumb were we? I don't know. Like you could, I don't know whether it was, we were trying to figure out like, could we not afford the dollar for coat check, or was it like just too lazy? We didn't want to line up again. I don't remember the reasoning, but I was like, yeah, it was like pre-drink. Let's go.
My reasoning wasn't the price. I didn't have enough money to replace the coat if it got stolen. So I'm like, I could put in the
coat. You didn't even want to risk it.
I don't want to risk it. I'll put in the coat check. Somebody steals it. Somebody runs away with it. That's a bigger problem than standing cold for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I just remember, so many times standing in the club downtown Toronto, like, golf shirt and it's like minus 15. You're like, are we stupid? What's wrong with us? And like girls in like little dresses, like, I don't know. Those were the days. Anyway, now we're in our 40s, and
I went out to a bar for the first time since COVID in early January, just after my birthday, and we're like 3 guys in our 40s, and we're dressed, but man, the lineup still looked the same. Guys and girls, no jackets. Everybody's trying to huddle. I'm like, nothing has changed in 25 years.
Nothing's changed in 25 years. Yeah. Well, there you go. So some things change, some things never change. It's masks off in Toronto, right?
Listen, we just got enough money now to be able to afford a new jacket if one gets.
If one gets, I can afford. Yeah, I can afford the coat check and potentially to replace my jacket. There you go. Exactly. And I saw a video too on TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, it was like, imagine what it would be like to go to a club with no phones. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in a club with phones. Like that to me, I mean, is everyone sitting there like, just like, taking videos like, hey, we're dancing. Look how much fun we're having. I don't know. What's it like to be in a club these days?
Listen, there is a bar that's opening up in Toronto, and there's a strict no phone policy. You got to check in your phone, and there's no bottle service. So they're trying to take it back to the 90s where you come in, there's no cell phone, there's no bottle service. You got to meet, mingle, you got to dance, you got to do all that. And the bottle service culture ruined the club experience. And the cell phones made it all about you in the club and not networking and meeting people. So so there's a club that's starting it. We don't know how successful they're going to be, but I think it's launching in the summertime.
That'll be
My wife was like, that's how it should be. So I found this site. I could buy 1,000 TikTok followers, high quality, not bots, but it'll start delivering in 24 hours for $14.
$14 to get you 1,000 followers.
Yeah, I put 1,000.
$14 a day.
No, just one-time fee, $14, and over the next 5 days, they'll slowly add 1,000 followers to my account.
Wow,
and then we can go live.
Let's see how quick. I mean, if that works, hey, I'm gonna try that. What's the site? Send it to me privately if you don't want people. Well, whatever. Shout it out. Let's see what it is.
I will. Here, let me show you. Screen share.
That'd be cool though. I like the idea. So I mean, we're similar age. I haven't been to a club really with the bottle service. I think went once, maybe 8-10 years ago, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd like it. It seems like you're just sitting with the few people you went with and doing really nothing. And then you get up and dance. It feels like almost you'd be at a wedding, right? You got like your table and you're going to dance in the middle. I don't know. Man.
So I sent you the link. But I'll fill you in next week on what happens with the adventure, and maybe like
Social Wick. Yeah, that's the one I was just looking at.
Yeah, it's like $15. So I'm like, yo,
where do you see the prices?
You just have to go through the process of like, I want followers, I want 1,000, and they'll give you a price.
Wow, Crazy. Guaranteed fast delivery, real people, no password required, 100% confidential, 30 days refill, 24/7 support. Wow.
So let's see what happens, man.
Did you sign
What's
up?
funny? Like, what if we get like I don't know, 2 million fake followers? Would I get brand deals?
Well, this is it, right? Like how do they know? Service
And
TikTok followers quantity 1,000. Yeah, 1439.
crazy, right? Weird number, $14.39. So anyhow,
I
I'll
don't know.
fill you in.
Their site seems all weird. I'm gonna try it too. Actually, I'm not for my personal one, but just for backers. I'm gonna see if we can do it with backers. Hey, so don't you worry. We cheated, but we didn't cheat. I don't know.
Not
It
cheating.
is what it is, right?
It is about looking at the algorithm and seeing how do we learn. And look, I guarantee you, pretty much everybody who's got thousands of millions of fans, especially in the last 2 years, have done something. Fan acquisition is kind of like that old school pyramid structure. You get in early enough, you're gonna get a ton of fans. The longer it takes you to get into social, the longer it's gonna take you to build that fan base, because they're all looking at other pieces of content. You're gonna cut through the noise and ask you to follow them unless you do something radical. And 80% of the content is rinse and repeat. So I think anybody who's got large amount of numbers that grew over the last 2 to 3 years, they're gaming it for sure, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's funny. I watched a couple of people that I sort of followed when I first started in kind of like fall of 2019, just pre-COVID, and one of them's got like, at the time she had maybe a few hundred followers. Now she's got like 1 million. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. Anyways,
so yeah, I'll report. And listen, if I become a super famous influencer, I can't do this stuff anymore. I need to talk to
you need to talk to your agent. Yeah. Okay. Have my agent call your people, call my people. Exactly. No,
cool, man.
But no. So what else is going on? I mean, I know I mentioned sort of we had an interesting thing with backers. You're going on, I think, tomorrow. Good luck with that. You know what? I'm going to ask this. You know anyone that's a hockey fan?
Yeah, I got a ton of people in my network that's hockey fans.
We're looking for team owners for the 3HL, basically team founders. So business-minded, community organizers, potentially ex-pros, looking to start their own 3-on-3 professional team.
This is like live, not like fantasy sports, right?
Yeah, real hockey with real players playing for cash purses.
I didn't know you can do 3-on-3 in hockey. I know I do 3-on-3 in basketball.
We created it ourselves. That's the league. We created it all ourselves. You didn't know that? I've never talked about the 3HL.
No, I know you've mentioned it, but I didn't know you're behind it.
Yeah, so I created backers to fund the 3HL, arguably. But yeah, we created the 3HL in 2015. We've had probably about 15 events live. We played at the old Maple Leaf Gardens for a couple of them, played all over Ontario. Most of the guys are in their 20s, sort of early 30s, pro, ex-pros, looking to play pro hockey. We usually have anywhere from 15 to 30K cash purse every week, and they're just trying to go out and play for money. We're working with Sportsnet right now to try and have them broadcast our season starting in September every Sunday. So we'll be on Sportsnet, 3-on-3 pro hockey called the 3HL. I'm the founder, CEO of that as well. And yeah, we've got a cool little team of advisors, and maybe some of them are mentors, I guess, right? Maybe and they're sort of, we're growing up, but we're looking for team founders. So if you're in any community pretty much across Ontario or Canada wide for that matter, or even into the US, and you want to have a pro hockey team in or represent your community, hit us up and we'll get you. We've got a couple guys that are notable names that are sort of signing up right now, and we'll be releasing that in at the end of March.
That's excellent, man. Yeah, definitely spread the word. I've only been to one hockey game my entire life, and I left second period. I didn't know what was going on. So maybe once you're back in town, we got to hit up a hockey game.
Yeah. Well, we can come to a 3HL game. We'll bring you we'll do this live from a 3HL event.
I'm down. I need to learn. It's Canada's sport.
It's all good. It's there. I'm a basketball fan, hockey fan, lacrosse fan, all of the sports. I'm excited about your festival though. Isn't Desi Fest coming up. Daisy Fest.
Which
Do you
war?
pronounce it Daisy or Desi?
Daisy. Like
Daisy.
they see
Daisy
you
Fest.
walking down the street. Daisy Fest.
When is
Yo,
that
but
coming up?
tomorrow's our first concert, live concert tomorrow night at
Oh, yeah?
918 Bathurst. It's our first showcase season, and it's sold out, 150 tickets.
Nice.
And I get to be
In
on the
person live, like, is that capacity, like a
live.
limited capacity kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, the venue was 300, but we still want to be safe and cautious of everybody's sort of health care. So 150 spaced out chairs. It's a nice
Yeah.
like venue. I get
Who's
to DJ.
performing?
We have a band that we put together with my buddy Hashil. It's a classical music night. That's like first half is classical music, second half is a remix of classical music, and we're trying to answer the question of what is classical music now, and showing just different interpretations. But my daughter is gonna be working the door. Like it's like a true family business now. I get to
Nice.
DJ and MC. It's exciting, man. My wife is like producing the whole thing, and
Nice.
we're in the entertainment business, I guess. So
remember we were talking about off air. Does your daughter think 90s hip hop is Halloween music?
No, she's actually into 90s hip hop. Yeah.
My older son likes it, but yeah, I was showing you the Coolio video, right? He's like, is this Halloween music? Yeah,
man.
Anyway, so what is classical music then? Is 90s hip hop classical music? Or are we talking like Beethoven and Bach? We can bounce if you got to bounce. It's all good.
Yeah, it's dinner time. Dinner time. We got to bounce.
Dinner time? All right.
Yeah. But listen,
let's
come back next Friday with some TikTok updates, and
let's go live on TikTok. I'm expecting you to have 1,000.
That is true.
1,000. Let's put it in there. I'm gonna have an intro video, and you're gonna be able to go live on TikTok. We'll do this, and I'll set it up. I got sort of a bit of a setup here for the TikTok to be beside me, so you can do kind of.
Or we're gonna come back here, and I'm gonna tell you how I lost $14.83.
Hey, God, shit. Actually, yeah, I don't even want to say it. Imagine they did some other nefarious activities with your card. But anyways, just before you go though, whatever happened with that 5K that you lost on the MetaMask wallet?
It's gone. I lost 5K at 7 a.m. I was pissed. I tried to contact anybody possible to help me, and I realized nobody gives a shit. And then randomly at like 2 o'clock, I did a refresh before I wanted to shut the MetaMask down, and there was like 2 G's in there. I was like, what the hell? I thought it was a mistake. I refreshed, 2 G's there. I moved it out immediately to see if like it'll happen. It's not a glitch. $2,000 moved out. So I was like, okay. So I made back 2. I lost 3. I guess it's okay.
Wow.
But like in that pool, I was one of the smaller investments testing it. There's guys that had like 50, 60, 100K in there.
Wow. So they would have lost like 60% of it or whatever. Yeah. Wiped out completely.
Wiped out. Everybody lost all their money. And so, the lesson in life, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Too good to be true. Yeah, exactly. On that note, we will leave it. Everyone else thinking out loud. Justin Fox, Satish Bala, Schoolio. We should actually get, if I could get that music. Sometimes I can't, sometimes I won't, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even think of it off the top of my head. Anyways, peace out. Hey, everyone. We'll talk soon. Yeah, enjoy your weekend, everyone.